Dear Diary, a little over a year ago, I had a thought. You know what, I said to myself? My beard looks pretty awesome, but it's missing something. A beard this great would be balanced out with a righteous mustache. And so I started growing my mustache. After some serious growing, I ended up with a really stellar English mustache. But that wasn't enough. I figured I would keep growing it and see what happened. I grew mustache tails long enough to style curls, circles, and spirals. But lately, my mustache has been offering more trouble than benefit. Should I keep it? Trim it? Cut it all the way back? Diary, I don't know what to do. When in times of great conflict, I like to make a pros and cons list. On the one hand, the handlebar mustache looks really cool. On the other hand, it takes a lot of time and effort to style. But it still looks pretty cool. But it also gets in the way of anything involving my mouth. Eating and drinking, of course. Get your mind out of the gutter. But it looks really cool. But the longer it gets, the heavier it looks on my face. But it still looks pretty cool. Let's take a closer look at what's going on with my mustache. A little while ago, I decided to start trimming the hair here in the center of my mustache in order to keep those hairs from going inside of my mouth. Now that was successful, but it did result in less hair that I was able to style into the curls of the mustache. Now because I had less hair, the curls had less structure and body and tended to droop a little bit. The drooping curls tend to make my facial hair look really heavy. So today, we're going to do some cutting. I'm going to go wash this wax out of my mustache, but I'll meet you shortly in the bathroom for some barbering. Before we do any cutting, it's probably a good idea to take stock of where we currently are. You'll notice that I do indeed have this middle part cut pretty short, or at least much shorter than the sides. You'll also notice that the sides like to curl in different directions. This side likes to have a nice sloping curl to the outside, whereas this side takes a more immediate curl to the outside and then drops almost straight down. Also, you'll notice that the curls, or the sides, have a lot of hair in them. If I pull them all the way out, you'll see I've got a good almost 6 inches on either side, which allowed me to do those spirals that I had before, but really it's just more hair than I can handle right now. If you're doing a project like this at home, you may be tempted to reach for your clippers. But in this case, power tools are not the right call. We're going to sacrifice some power in order to gain some precision. Instead of clippers, for this job we're going to be using a blow dryer, a round brush, a comb, and a pair of barber's shears. The first step of this journey is that I'm going to try to push the mustache in the general direction that I want it to go. So I'm going to first wet the mustache with some water, and then using the hair dryer and the round brush, I'm going to just dry it and style it in the general direction that I want it to lie. Now that I've got the mustache pushed in the general direction that I want it to go, I can start making some cuts. But before I cut anything, I should figure out how much I want to cut off. So I think what I want to do is grab the mustache and just, with my fingers, pull it out into place where I think it might lie. And then, from that point where I'm pinching, I'm going to slide it out maybe a ½ inch. And that's where I'm going to make my first cut. Remember, you can always cut off more, but once you've cut it off, you're going to have to live with it until it grows back in. I think the next step is going to be to style it up a little bit and see where we are. Guys, I think we're in business. That looks like a mustache. And my beard feels a lot lighter without having all that extra length on the mustache. So I think we're going to stick with this for a little bit. I'm going to sleep on it, style it tomorrow. If I don't like it, if it still feels a little bit long, I can make some cuts then. But at this point, I think this is a good place to stop. As promised, it's tomorrow morning and we're going to take stock of the situation. As I look at my mustache, it looks like I cut this side just a little bit shorter than I cut this side. So today we're just going to cut off a little bit from this side to try and even it up a little bit. I actually do like the length that I got on this side. And there we go, a much more manageable mustache than those big swirls that I had yesterday. I think this is going to be much better for me as we go into the summer months and the mustache gets even harder to keep up with. Well, that brings us to the end of our first beard experiment. My beard and I would like to thank you for spending some time with us today. If you enjoyed our time together, like, comment, and subscribe below. To all you beard aspirers and beard admirers, my beard and I wish you safe travels, and we'll see you in the next video.